Shalom, friends. Some people have asked, again, to explain why I believe our mayor here in Harish has been unjustly and illegally treated by the police and the state prosecutor. So I'm happy to do that. This is the story. Our mayor was arrested at 2 days after Passover in April, and they ended up holding him for 3 months. And in the end, they charged him with 5 minor crimes of indecent acts, things like that, which we don't even know exactly what was involved there. And also they tried, within a very stretched, like bubblegum interpretation of the concept, they tried to say that he is guilty of breach of trust because he was the mayor, and if he got a hug or asked for a hug or whatever it might be while helping someone in the public, so that's a violation of breach of trust. Now, I admit that there is some element of that, perhaps, but traditionally the breach of trust is for things like like when the Ministry of the Interior from the Shas party takes hundreds of thousands of shekels in bribes to advance certain institutions, etc. They give them, kickbacks. That's generally more considered the traditional interpretation of breach of trust, public trust. And here, the things that are mentioned in the article, I say everyone should read this article in Hebrew in Walla News from May 18th by Yoav ATL, where it says Mayor of Harish took advice from ChatGPT and now he's going to get a lighter sentence. It's a very interesting article where he actually interviewed the police investigators, the head of the police investigators, both nationally and in the northern district of Haifa, who were involved in this investigation. They even have their pictures there, and they tell their whole theory about how terrible they think this guy is, the mayor, and they also point out the seeming graded prizes which were given to the women who received his advances. Supposedly one was made an assistant in a kindergarten, and one was made a corona monitor. So these are the great prizes and corruption that may have been going on, according to the police, and therefore they had to be kept in jail for 3 months. And now, with the assistance of the legal advisor to the government, who herself has now been removed from office, I also think in an improper way, by the way. It's another improper procedure, but that's another story. But in any case, she was removed, but before she was removed, she managed to have Yitzhak Keshet removed, at least temporarily, from being the mayor, the position of mayor. And now they did an election, the city council did an election, elected a temporary person to fill it. And all this without a trial, without a trial, and without even the citizenry having an election. And I think this is wrong. And why? Part of the reason I think it's wrong, not just because it's morally wrong, because in itself it's on its face morally wrong, but it also violates legal norms that Israel has committed itself to. And I'm talking particularly, we don't have a constitution yet, but Baruch Hashem, we did sign on to the ICCPR. We ratified it in 1992 or 3. That's the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights. And in my humble opinion, I'm not an expert. I have an MA in human rights and whatnot, but I'm in no way an expert. And in my humble opinion, Israel is likely, for example, in this case of Yitzhak Keshet, is in violation of this treaty, namely Articles 9 and Articles 14. Article 9 talks about not being able to illegally detain someone, and how and when you can detain someone. And I think it was totally off the wall that they detained him for 3 months on this. They said they were concerned that he would try to interfere with the investigation and this and that. Well, that was a very simple solution to that. You simply could tell him that he has a restraining order from talking to any of the people involved in the case, And then if he talks to them, then you could arrest him, but you don't have to preemptively arrest him unless you want to wear him down, which you succeeded, it seems, in doing, and trying to get him to stop being mayor, because he may or may not have had minor moral offenses with a certain number of women. And again, that's another thing. I don't if it seems to me from reading that article there, that the chances are that all these things were consensual. All these women agreed, maybe because they wanted to, maybe they just, I don't know. A lot of people like being hugged. I also like being hugged. But maybe they just wanted to get a hug. Maybe they also wanted to be a corona monitor and they thought that was nice. Whatever it is, but it seems like it was all consensual. And I don't see the crime in that. I mean, according to halakha, it's a crime. Obviously, a man shouldn't be touching any woman he's not married to. But the last I checked, I don't think that the Israeli secular law it entails the halakha as the standard for what's illegal and what's not. Last I heard, it's not illegal to hug people in Israel or to shake their hands or whatever else might be. So I hope very much that, and by the way, Article 9. Article 14 says, this is an amazing concept, it says that any person accused of a criminal offense has the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. And now this whole way, end quote. And now this whole way that they've just pushed him out of office in this political putsch, done by the Praklitud, by the state prosecutor. This whole thing, I believe, is against also this international convention, which we are signatories to. We don't want to be like China, who signs these things and actually just violates them. But we should really be true to our word and be true to the convention which we signed. And I think that the rule that they used, which they just did in 2013, this ridiculous rule that said that any person, any public official who is accused, not convicted, accused of a crime of moral turpitude, okay? And again, even whether moral turpitude, that's also a value judgment, whether what's involved here, which we don't even hardly know, is a great crime of moral turpitude. I would say no, from what I've read so far, and not having heard all the details, but what has been published, I would say no. But the rules that they made in 2013 says any public official who is accused of a crime of moral turpitude, so he can be removed from office. He can be on the advice of this committee. The committee is headed by the legal advisor to the government, the woman that was just removed from office by the present government. I think in a wrong way, but that's okay. That's another story. So they can be removed. Now, I believe that is in violation of Article 14, number point 2 of the ICCPR, which says that anyone accused of a criminal offense will be presumed innocent until proven guilty. So here they remove someone from office without a trial only because he's accused. All you have to do is come with a few women who are willing to accuse someone of something, and then you can remove him from office. And I believe that's in violation of that international convention. And I hope that the mayor does the bagatz to ask for remedy in this and compensation for what happened to him. And by the way, the ICCPR also allows for that the person who has been abused and have their rights violated and unjustly detained has the right to appeal to a court for that, for compensation. I believe he should, and I hope he does. I'm going to encourage him to. Bezrat Hashem, with God's help. And so this is one of the many challenges. It's not the first time, and unfortunately, probably won't be the last time this has happened in Israel. People have been detained simply on accusations and with ridiculous claims, like they said here, that he is a danger to the public. He's such a big danger. All they do was put a sign and say, don't be alone in the office with this person. Now, I don't see why other, and even that is, that would have been invasive in itself. But But if the worst case scenario, if you want to think he's so dangerous, put up a little sign, say, leave door open when with this person. That would have solved the whole problem, because I didn't hear of him going around jumping on people in alleyways or anything like that. The whole thing is a ridiculous political putsch, in my humble opinion. I'm not impressed, as sometimes I am, but in general, I'm not impressed by the police here and the way they do investigations, beklal, and at all, and the Praklitud as the ones who are endorsing this and pushing this. There's mob bosses in Israel that live lives of ease in their mansions here, and meanwhile they're going after people, good mayors who are doing a good job, because they think that they're getting some hugs here and there. And I say to the police, and this was a months-long investigation I say, Mr. Police Officers in Lahav 433, why don't you do something serious? Why don't you stop doing the political bidding of, and I would say, as whoever whatever political party the mayor is, I'm not a Likudnik, I'm not a member of any party, but I am in the party who wants to see civil rights and human rights respected in this country. And whatever party it is, the party of individuals is not a party of a party. So let's hope for better times, and let's make the times better. Each one do their part. And thank you, and wish you a continued good summer. And all our soldiers should be safe wherever they go in Gaza and any place else. And our brothers and sisters should be freed from captivity speedily and soon. Thank you.